What's good, YouTube? So I'm not gonna hold you guys too long because it's New Year's Day. I got a lot of stuff I want to do, so I'm sure you guys got a lot of stuff you guys want to do. I'm sure you guys probably just now waking up. Whatever the case is, had a great time. Hope you guys had a safe New Year's Eve party, and all that good stuff. Hope you guys make it home safely. If you haven't made it home yet, I know some people probably still out and about, still enjoying themselves. But you guys, be safe. Don't make any stupid decisions. Don't drink and drive. Watch your cup, all of that good stuff. And for future reference, that all of that stuff applies as well. Um, but like I said, I'm not gonna keep you too long. I had a Patreon supporter that asked me this question a little while back, and I'm just not getting around to it. So I apologize for it taking so long. But the Patreon supporter asked me, "What is being blackballed, and how does that happen, and what can you do to kind of avoid it?" This particular person says they believe they may have been kind of blackballed um, by some of the artists that they were trying to work with, and kind of gave me the insight of the situation. And I told him I'd make a video on it and kind of get an explanation on how all this works. I've already spoken to him and told him all this. I just taking a while to make an actual video on it. So first off, being blackballed, that is the term actually comes from pool, I believe. So if you have the 8 ball, it's black. That's the last one that you want to hit. Like nobody really wants to knock the 8 ball in before all the other colors are stripes, solids or stripes are knocked in, because obviously you'll lose. So that's kind of where the term black ball comes from. I actually think I may have seen this somewhere that I actually think it comes from like a racial thing too. That is low key racist, but I don't know all the details of that. But black ball is essentially where people are purposefully not rocking with you, or are speaking negatively about you, or influencing others to not deal with you, work with you, etc. That type of deal. That's pretty much what blackball is. Pretty much blackballing is like sneak dissing somebody and kind of impeding their trajectory and their movement forward, which is like a hating thing. This is like a hater type of thing. So when you get blackballed, the person or people blackballing you, they're hating on you. They're haters, right? And usually when you're blackballed, it's not because that they dislike you. It's more so because they see you more as a threat than anything. Because if so put it like this. Let's say I'm a producer, and I've been notorious for making everybody one hit wonders. I give you a beat, and you're gonna get millions and millions of plays and become famous, right? People would blackball you if they reach out to me and say, hey, I want to buy a beat from you, and I say my beats are $100 for numbers sake, and they're like, oh, that's way too expensive, I can't afford that, I'm not paying no $100. All right, well, that's fine, I'm not going to send you a beat. And then that person then goes out and tells everybody, oh, his prices are too high, he's this, that, and the third, he's only in it for this or clout or blah blah blah. That's an example of blackballing. But the reason that they're afraid of you is because they don't want other people to rock with you, because because you have the power and the ability to not have to rock with them, if that makes sense. So like I don't have to work with you to get this $100, because I'm so many people interact with me and like my content, and somebody else will pay for it versus you not paying for it. I'm not hurt that you're not going to pay for it, so I'm not going to break my back and go the long route to help you out, because I can work for all these other artists. So somebody may blackball you from that. And the reason they're kind of afraid of that power is because you hold the power to be able to give them what they want, and you're not giving it to them. So people would ask me back in the several years ago, did Cardi blackball you? Did all these other artists blackball you? No, they didn't blackball me. They didn't have any type of like hindrance, in my opinion, to what was going to happen to me and what I had planned anyway. One thing that I always would tell these people would be like, you can only be blackballed by the people that you actually want to work with. So if Chief Keef, which I haven't worked with, is a person that I want to work with, which I do want to work with them. If Chief Keef was like, nah, I'm not going to work with Milan at all, and I'm just not going to work with them, then yeah, you got blackballed. Now somebody could say in reverse, well, what if somebody like a Cardi tells Chief Keef to not rock with you, and doesn't that mean that you got blackballed? Well, it could be, but at the same time, each individual person is their own individual person. Just because one person doesn't like you doesn't mean another person will like you. And just because I have a beef with you doesn't mean that my beef should stem from me to my friend to you. Because what if the beef that I have between me and in this example, Cardi has nothing to do with Chief Keef, right? So I wouldn't necessarily worry too much about being blackballed by other artists because the way that I look at it personally is if an artist has a capability of making other artists not deal with you, those were artists that you didn't want to deal with and create a connection with anyway because they weren't going to be for your best interest. If there's a guy or a girl or artist, rapper, whatever the case is, that all it takes is for somebody else to say, "Oh, don't mess with them, don't rock with them," and then they'll do it. Then that's not a person you want to deal with because they don't have your back anyway. Because all it would take is for y'all to blow up. I send a beat off to an artist, he uses it, blows up, and then he gets to the point of, and this is the same artist that would blackball you, and he gets to the point of, well, I don't want to rock with this, Milan anymore. I'll work with these other industry art producers and this, that, and the third. They're not going to have your best interests at heart anyway if they're already willing to just listen to somebody else's opinion and blackball you from that. So, a ways to kind of prevent being blackballed, in my opinion, from what I've seen, just things that I've done is just simply be like you, like be yourself. I've noticed that a lot of these producers won't even interact with their fan base. Like nobody, they don't even interact with the people that support them and put them in a certain position. Or either they'll kind of like like look down on them and belittle them. I've noticed that. So I've noticed that when I'm interacting with my Patreon supporters and my people on YouTube and the people on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter and things of that nature, those people will tend to be like, "Man, I appreciate you responding to me. I'm surprised you even saw my message, and I'm glad that you reached out to me because no matter what, as long as you have a fan base, it does not matter if they blackball you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if there's no rapper in the mainstream world or even in the bubbling underground scene. It doesn't matter if none of them want to rock with me and none of them want to use my beats. If I have my own fan base, it doesn't even matter. It has absolutely no like precedence over that at all. Because if you think about it like this, if I have a large fan base, right? I have a fan base that's this wide of just a bunch of just random people. And then there's a quote unquote fan base of artists that's this big. And we're talking about, major artists because you got to think the population of people that listen to my stuff and want to rap on my beats is larger than the population of people that are already popping and popular and want to hop on my stuff. Does that make sense? So meaning I have more people to fish for in this larger group, right? So like and but what I mean by fish for is if I have, let's say for number's sake, 200 fans, right? 200 fans that just listen to me in this larger category, and then I have 15 artists that are mainstream artists and bubbling SoundCloud artists. I have more chances and opportunities with the 200 people to make more to make a nice chunk of change or to create something than if I'm just dealing with a small selection of 15 people because I have 200 different options of, hey, let me find 200 artists and rappers and let's see what we can make out of 200 different songs that you make for artists and rappers. Something is going to generate something enough to where it's like it doesn't necessarily matter that I don't work with the Chief Keefs or the Futures or the Yeats or the whoever else is up and coming and popping like that. You know what I mean? So that's how I see it. And besides, your smaller group or your larger group of people of fans, that's going to continue to circulate and cycle at a bigger on a bigger scale. And as you grow, that populace grows, right? So I don't think you can be blackballed unless you actually want to be in the industry and work with these people. So you're only blackballed by the people that you actually want to work with and they don't want to work with you, right? That's the only way you can be blackballed. So somebody could say, "Oh, well, Playboy Cardi is never going to make a beat another song with you. He'll never rap on your beats. He hates you." I don't care. It doesn't matter. I don't need Playboy Cardi to rap on my beats for me to be a producer, for me to continue to do the things that I do and want to do and continue to create the revenue that I've been creating. I don't need that. So you can't be blackballed out of a situation. Your situation could change, and how you have to operate may change because you're dealing with hate. That is hate. Dealing with hate and haters is different than dealing with the people that are quote unquote blackballed. Blackballed is like you can't do anything. A blackball would be like uh, maybe like a Antonio Brown, right? Antonio Brown is in the NFL, and there's probably no NFL team that would want to touch him. But at the same time, he's still a very good athlete. He's a very good player. He's a great wide receiver. Out of all the teams, I think how many teams is it? 32 teams. Out of 32 teams, I'm sure somebody out of that 32 is going to want to rock with him. The only way he'd be blackballed from the NFL and not be able to work for any of the 32 teams is if he sat there and burned each one of those teams or just did something so vastly crazy that none of the teams are willing to touch him, which is probably something like it'd probably have to be something legal that will cause him to not be able to, get back into the NFL. Like, right. So that's just my example of trying to show you something to where you could kind of technically be blackballed and that'd be different. But even so, if you're dealing with something like that, let's say Antonio Brown just really wants to play sports. He doesn't or play football. He doesn't necessarily have to be in the NFL. He can go to the CFL. He can go to the whatever. I can't remember the other National Football League that we have in America. There's another one that I just heard about. It started like 2 years ago. But he doesn't necessarily have to play for the NFL. He does. He could even be a coach. He could go and start his own NFL league. There's a number of different routes. So that's what I mean by I'm saying you can't technically be blackballed unless you're blackballed by the people you want to actually interact with and work with. If Antonio Brown wants to work in the NFL as an NFL athlete, if he ruins his relationship with all 32 teams, then yes, he's technically, I guess, blackballed. Same thing with Playboi Carti. If I want to work with Playboi Carti and make more music with him, and he does not want to work with me, then yes, I'm technically blackballed from working with Playboi Carti. But that's not the case. I don't care to work with him. It doesn't matter who I work with. I want to work with cooperative people that we can actually make some money together, and everything goes smoothly. So you can't be blackballed, like, again, like I say, unless you're blackballed by the people that you actually want to work with. So I told this supporter, he kind of gave me or his situation, what was going on with him. I told him, listen, man, it sounds like you're dealing more so with haters rather than being blackballed because you didn't want to you wanted to do everything properly like how I've been teaching you guys, and they didn't want to go about that, and that's fine. That just means you're not dealing with very serious artists, and it doesn't mean you can't still work with these people, but just be aware that you see what you're dealing with. So that's really all I got for you guys. Oh, it being a new year and whatnot, I'm gonna try to kind of change the setup of how I do the videos. I'm thinking every week when I do a video, how I've been doing it, I'm gonna kind of set a schedule where it's like I have one tutorial where I show you the full blown video of how I did it, and then maybe like the following week I have a tutorial where I just show you one the short videos where I just show you the sounds, and then I may have two videos in that month to where it's just me giving an explanation or something of that nature. I'm going to try to get start doing a little bit more collabs, start working with other up and coming artists and things of that nature. I really want to get into showing you guys how to actually make music. That's one thing that I've really kind of emphasized that I wanted to do. So I'm kind of working on that as well in the background. So I got a lot of different plans and stuff for you guys for this upcoming year, and we're going to continue to grow and put good content out here like this, and that's to see where it takes us from here. So it's been good for me so far. I appreciate all the love and support. That's all I got for you guys today. I just want to keep it kind of short, sweet, and simple. I don't want to take too much of your time. It's like I say, Sunday and it's New Year's Day, so go out, enjoy yourself, be safe, and happy holidays. Peace.